Imagine you and your best friend was walking through an old deserted ghost town in southwest Montana. You mosey on down Main Street, past silent, weathered buildings, till you come to Montana's very first schoolhouse. That looks interesting, you think, and go on in. You're in a goofy mood, so you sit down at one of the desks and feel under the chair to see if kids used to stick gum under their chairs a long time ago. Instead of gum, however, you find a wadded up piece of paper. You and your friends smooth it out and are astonished to find that it's a list of clues. Even more jaw-dropping, the clues seem to point to a mysterious treasure hidden 150 years ago. As amazing as that sounds, that's exactly what happens to Slate Stephens and Daphne McSweeney in my new Slate Stephens mystery, Hangman's Gold. My name is Sneed B. Collard III. Don't you forget it, because I'm the author of the Slate Stephens mystery series. And today I want to tell you a little bit about Hangman's Gold and how I wrote this here book. As I mentioned, Hangman's Gold begins when 12-year-old friends Slate Stephens and Daphne McSweeney travel to the ghost town of Bannack, Montana, where their geologist dads are doing some prospecting for a large gold mining company. Bannack was the first territorial capital of Montana and also the site of the first major gold strike in the region. When it began, however, Bannack had a serious problem. There was no law and order. After a mess of robberies and murders, a local group of citizens got together to form up a vigilance committee, and soon them vigilantes started going around hanging bad guys. Now I know this sounds like a mighty fine idea, but it ain't. Them vigilantes didn't hold fair trials for their victims, and soon they weren't just hanging bad guys, they was hanging people they just didn't like very much. There was always a rumor, though, that whenever they hanged someone, the vigilantes would take all of that person's gold, and that gold has never been recovered. Enter Slate and Daphne. Once they find them that list of clues, you can be sure they begin trying to solve them. But soon something else transpires. One day, Slate and Daphne are in the nearby town of Dillon, Montana, chowing down some breakfast at a watering hole called Sparky's Garage, when all of a sudden, right across the street at the University of Montana Dillon, half-dozen police and sheriff's cars roar up, lights flashing and sirens blaring. Turns out that the University Art Museum has just been robbed of a dozen paintings, including two priceless paintings by famed Western artist Charlie Russell. Now, Slate and Daphne ain't got one mystery to solve, they got two. I ain't gonna spoil the rest of the story for you, but I do want to tell you a little bit about how I wrote this here book. After all, one of the hardest parts of writing a mystery is assembling all the clues that the characters use to solve it. Now, me and my horse had visited Bannack before with a local geology professor named James Sears. Hard Rock Jimmy, we like to call him. Now, Jimmy was the first feller gave me the idea for Hangman's Gold. Before I began writing it, though, I realized I needed to return to the scene of the crime. Over the next 6 months, me and my son Braden took us 2 more trips to Bannack. We got us a campsite next to Grasshopper Creek, where gold was first discovered, and then just started poking around for clues to use in the story. I had no idea what I would find at first, but soon clues started jumping out at me faster than bullfrogs being shot at. We also explored the surrounding hills in the nearby town of Dillon. I tell you, it was a mighty fine time. More important, the more I saw of the area, the more the plot just started writing itself in my addled old head. That don't mean the writing came easy. Never does. Figuring out the sequence of events in a story ain't no simple matter. Several times when I was writing on the book, I had to cut or modify scenes. I also had to write me some new ones. There weren't no rules for doing this. Writing a book is like living in the Old West. Ain't no laws to help you. I just had to rely on my own instincts and my experience as a reader. In the case of Hangman's Gold, picking a great setting made all the difference. Bannack not only provided me a great backdrop, but gave me a whole mine shaft full of ideas for the story itself. All I had to do was listen. I hope you enjoy reading Hangman's Gold. You can order you a copy from your local independent bookstore, online, or straight from the Bucking Horse Books distributor, Mountain Press. Their toll-free number, 800-234-5308. For an autographed copy, shoot an email to publisher@buckinghorsebooks.com. Also be sure to like us on Facebook and visit the Bucking Horse Books website at www.buckinghorsebooks.com, where you can check out my other titles, including the first Slate Stephens mystery, The Governor's Dog is Missing, and my newest thriller, Cartwheel, a sequel to Double Eagle. Teachers and librarians, I got me some study guides for the Slate Stephens mystery series. Meanwhile, if you enjoy my books, why not invite me and my horse over for an author visit? Every year, we do dozens of school visits all across the country to talk about reading, writing, books, mysteries, science, and all that good stuff. To get a copy of the study guides or inquire about an author visit, just shoot me an email at collard@bigsky.net. Thanks for sitting a while, and keep on hanging around. Get it? Hanging around good books.